We're getting started with the exercise of creating an avatar, and everyone would have a chance to test your own avatar. So first of all, please click on Create New. Go to Create New Confidant, and you should be able to see a couple of stock replicas like Jennifer. So I see mine, but you should be able to see Jennifer or James, I believe. Click Create New Confidant right here, and you should be able to see two options of two avatars, Jennifer and James. So choose one of those two. I'll choose my realistic version, but later we'll be able to create a different one. So now just go ahead and click continue, and then you should be able to see business use case or personal use case. So you can decide yourself which avatar you want to create, because for business use cases, this could be like representing your brand, driving sales, screening candidates. That's what I mentioned before. Sharing expertise, gathering feedback. Um, in personal use cases, we have engaging with the audience. So it's not necessarily professional engagement. It could be like engaging with your, I don't know, Instagram or Facebook audience, practicing chats, some interviews or tough conversations, just having fun, having a virtual tutor or having a digital companion. Or you can just click on other and you can come up with your own idea, like what you want your avatar to do, right? So for example, you can just say represent, and you can put your name, like represent Max Sapo, CEO of Happyverse, at AI Ikigai Summit, and share about his background. Okay, so that could be your use case, but again, you can come up with your own. So then in the next screen, you can change the confidant name. So you can call it like confidant Elena or confidant Max. There could be some other confidants with the same name, in which case you'll need to change it. I'm sure there is a confidant Max already, so I'll just say confidant 17. And then purpose, like, for example, it could be like provide answers to the audience about your background in a fun and engaging way. And then, so just please type something. Don't over sweat about this. Just like come up, use my example or come up with your own. And then somebody asked about knowledge base, right? Like there were a couple of questions, I think. So here you can add relevant information like URL to a website or some file like a PDF or text. So for example, I think I should have my resume on my drive. Let me check if I have it downloads. So if you have your CV, you can add your CV. If you don't, that's fine. You just add something, some information to the knowledge base just to test that it works. So it could be a PDF again, or it could be just a copy paste of your LinkedIn profile, for example, to make sure that the avatar has some context. Then this call to action feature, right? Like this is what I illustrated with my Calendly link. So for example, I can again like insert my calendar link, or I can insert deck about Happyverse, for example, and I can say show this deck when user asks to learn more about Happyverse. So that's going to work through the call to action. And then you can, if you add something here, you can do this right now. Um, you would see a bunch of other settings. So I'm not gonna probably spend time going through all of them, but I'll just quickly run through just to showcase you what the platform is capable of. So you can choose a default language. So for example, my avatar as a default, it used English, but it can switch between languages in the middle, not always smoothly, right? Like you notice that sometimes it starts speaking with an accent, etc., but it can switch midway. However, if you want your avatar to only talk in English or start talking in a different language, you can do that in the platform. Then it generates some greeting, like how the avatar would greet your users at the beginning. Um, you can change it. So for example, maybe I want to add my name, and maybe I want to say I'm a confidant of Mike Stapo. So not necessarily like real me, but it you know making sure that it understands that it's not a human, right? Um, then this is a long prompt. I mean, you don't have to go through all of it because we generate sort of boilerplate prompt with a sort of a typical conversation flow, like what should be the phase one, phase two, phase three, etc. Um, Obviously, if you design your production quality avatar, you would want to spend more time, um, you know, checking everything here, like reading through and maybe making some iterations. But this is a good enough starting point as a default. Um, then in terms of knowledge base, um, I believe I added my resume already, and yeah, it's right here. So that should be available for the avatar as a context. Um, Call to action, we discussed this. Video shareables, that's a new feature that is sort of still under development, but at some point your avatar would be able to show not just images. You saw when it showed an image of the team, it would be able to show videos as well, pre-recorded videos relevant for the conversation. And then there is this conversation duration limit. By default, we set it at 10 minutes, but you can go up to 60 minutes. So anywhere between like 1 minute to 60 minutes. I think that's what we support currently. Um, then in the brain settings, you can choose your LLM, like what LLM you want to use for the avatar. By default, we are using open source model from OpenAI, GPT-OSS, because it's good in terms of latency and tool calling. Not perfect, but good. But we also have Gemini, Sonnet, and Quinn, and a bunch of other models. And then there is this interesting temperature check or creativity check. So if you want your avatar to be like more like factual, just sticking to the knowledge base, you keep it as factual. If you want it to be more creative, where it doesn't have to rely on the information all the time and can come up with its own answers, you can do more creative or somewhere in between. Um, then in the voice settings, usually I don't change anything, but in theory, if you want the voice to be more similar to yours, you can go all the way to 100%, but we recommend like 0.7. And then sometimes it's better to have a little slower pace because the quality of the lip sync turns out to be better. But by default, we keep it at 1. And then we have lots of interesting features in this other settings category where you can decide on timeout settings. So for example, if the avatar doesn't hear anything from the user, it can just stop the conversation after, let's say, 10 or 15 seconds. I disabled it by default. And then in terms of tools, we have this tool where the avatar can show slides. We have this call to action thing. Um, we have um, checking time limit. Like for example, if you want the conversation to be 10 minutes with a customer and the avatar should understand like, oh, there are only 2 minutes left in this conversation. So let's wrap up things, let's summarize. So that tool is also available. Um, and then we have data collection in case we want to collect some emails or some other things. We have vision, which I illustrated how it can see the users through the camera. Um, and then a couple of other things down the line. Like if you want to change the video preview, if your avatar, you can also do that. So I'll just enable vision and screen share. And by the way, there is always a trade-off between your avatars being smarter and doing all these things and latency, right? Because um, unfortunately, like no tools are perfect, and it's very hard to orchestrate them such that they would still be in real time. But we are working on this, trying to solve for this. So now my confidence is ready, and we can give it a shot. But before we do this, I also wanted to show you this generate video capability that we have, where if you want a video for your social media, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, whatever you have, you can just type a text prompt. For example, hello, I'm Max Sapo, and I'm so happy to participate in the Ikigai AI workshop. Um, Thanks, Elena, Sergey, HEWI, Bill, and everyone who joined online for your time and excellent questions. So I type that and then I click generate video, and then it would take like a couple of minutes, but it's going to show up here in the generated video section. Um, and then you can share your avatar with specific emails, like similarly how Google Docs work, right? Like if you want your Google Doc to be private, it's going to be private, only you have access. If you want your Google Doc to be shared with specific emails, you can share it with specific emails. So similarly, we have that capability as well. Um, but if you want your avatar to be public and available on a website and there is nothing too sensitive, then you can just click anyone with the link, and then you would have a link that you can share with your friends, or you can put it on your social media. So, and then other people would be able to talk to your avatar. Um, so I think that's pretty much it in terms of basic. Oh, there is another cool feature that we built recently, which is called AGI interface. So if you click on this AGI interface and you again upload your resume, it would create sort of a virtual business card. Um, I'm going to show you how it looks. So you can upload your resume and you can type the link to your product. In my case, it's Happyverse, but I can maybe use something else just for fun, like leadertalks.us. That's our community project. Um, and then I click this create AGI interface thing, and now some magic would happen. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So this is the business card kind of thing that I was talking about, right? So obviously LinkedIn is great. Lots of people are there, and it can show your work experience, but it's not showing real you, your like real human self. So that was our idea, how we can create an interface where people can still see your full experience, right? Like work experience, like education, um, even hobbies if they're available. So I didn't put hobbies on my resume, that's why they're not here, but it accurately compiled the list of my like educational institutions, work experiences, etc., and this kind of overview. And it came up with this list of confident superpowers based on my resume. I can obviously like modify it if I want to, because there is this pencil thing where you can change it what you want. But yeah, now it's available for a conversation. And again, like users can choose whatever language they want to get started. So I'll click talk and let's see what happens. And to be honest, I haven't tested the specific avatar, so it's all real, real demo, real life.
Sure thing. Please go ahead and upload the image you'd like me to describe.
Oh no, I don't want to describe any image. I wanted you to share a little bit about Max and his background. Like what are his work experiences, which companies he worked for.
Max Sapo is a serial tech entrepreneur with more than 15 years building AI infrastructure and product led businesses. After earning a bachelor's degree in international economics at Mgimo University, he spent several years in investment banking and growth equity roles, leading cross border deals at ING Bank, VTB Capital, and Sistema, where he helped generate over $1 billion in shareholder value. He then moved into the AI world, joining Google's cloud TPU team as a senior product manager. There he drove the global launch of TPU v4 and v5, scaling revenue from low million to billion plus annual recurring revenue and shaping a multi-billion dollar capex framework for large-scale machine learning infrastructure. In 2024, Max took a brief stint at Etched, a transformer ASIC startup, leading a rapid sprint that resolved critical hardware software bugs and secured a multi-million dollar order from a cloud provider. Leveraging that experience, he co-founded Happyverse AI in 2025. As CEO, he built a real-time multimodal avatar platform from scratch, achieving sub-half second latency and dramatically lower inference costs. Under his leadership, the startup has attracted over 2,000 users, launched enterprise pilots across finance and healthcare, and built a qualified ARR pipeline of several $million across North America, EMEA, and Central Asia. Max also holds an
Okay.
MBA and a master's in
Okay,
sustainability from
okay, okay,
Stanford, a
Max. I
master's
know
in
you can go forever. So that's the example of a very wordy response, right? I mean, which could be useful, but at some point you'll be like, oh, okay, stop it. So the problem with this avatar, as you probably noticed, is that the lip sync quality turned out to be not that good. And occasionally we're running into issues with people who have beards, or sometimes you just need to iterate a little more on your video or image input. But the model that we're going to test today, the new model, it has much better quality than this. Um, the good news, though, if you don't like your video, you can always switch it off. So one final thing, Max, what can you tell to the audience about creating an avatar? Like, what are the best practices for creating like a really good, realistic avatar that is like expressive, human-like, but also accurate and useful?
Creating a truly lifelike avatar starts with crystal clear source material. Record a well lit, steady video where your face is fully visible, no beards or heavy shadows, and speak naturally at a moderate pace. Feed the system high resolution frames and a clean audio track. The model thrives on clean signals and will render smoother lip sync and subtle facial cues. After the initial build, run quick iteration loops, tweak lighting, adjust head angles, and re record any sections that look stiff. Then let the AI fine tune the expression blend. Finally, always give users an easy toggle to switch back to raw video or audio so they can fall back instantly if the avatar ever feels offbeat.
Okay. Well, it's not a bad set of recommendations. So thank you so much, Max. Goodbye. We'll see you later.